Evolutionary that Org podcast Q&A episode 477. Stevesmi and the Rickster, Ricky V. Rock. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
Good. So this one, we're going to do a reboot. We're going to rehash a couple old episodes that we did. And the reason we're going to do this is because there's prior episodes. Many of you that haven't listened to our prior episodes, you're still trying to catch up on the podcast. We've done a lot of podcasts, so it's going to be a long time to catch up on all of them. But we like to go back and let you kind of listen to some of these podcasts that we did and rehash them. And in this one, we're going to kind of do two. Rick is going to start us off with oral steroids. Rick, why don't you talk about that first? Why you chose that?
Well, oral steroids, it's a question that comes up a lot on the forums. There's always questions about oral steroids almost every day. And there should be. They're very concerning. You could definitely, your liver, your organs, the way your body works could surely be affected by using them. They are the most toxic out of the steroids you can take are oral, of the steroids that are modified. And over a decade ago, we released a product called N2Guard. That's going to N as in need, to the number 2, guard, Guard. And N2Guard.com, that's the product. It's a product for bodybuilders on oral steroids. It's definitely that product that guys on the sauce, on the juice, on the steroids are gonna want to use and are going to need. So definitely oral steroids. It's a good one to retouch. Again, N2Guard, my product, guys. Check it out. We got some incredible products. I have 2 really good sleep aids in my store right now. If you go to my store, needtobuildmuscle.com, and click on the health and wellness, you're going to find both N2Sleep and Nutriball 677. Now, N2Sleep is just a good formula to get you sleeping at night. Nice and sleep, nice restful sleep, even if you are on some of the androgens. It's specifically formulated for guys who are suffering from some insomnia from the androgens, maybe a little bit extra anxiety from the steroids. Down the line, also, if you want something more, if you want something that is not just going to put you to sleep, because it'll give you nice restful sleep, shares a lot of the same ingredients as N2Sleep, it does, but it's also going to give you an additional boost in the production of your own natural human growth hormone at night as you sleep. So at night, as you lay in bed and you're sleeping, it's the time when your pituitary secretes the highest amount of human growth hormone in your body. It's released during this time. Well, when you use Nutriball 677, you're just going to get that much more of a release. It's going to, just how we can reliably make natural testosterone boosters that work, we can reliably make natural growth hormone boosters that actually work to help you release more growth hormone while you sleep than you would otherwise. And Nutriball 677 combines both. So N2Sleep is your basic sleep aid, anti-anxiety, full sleep, have a more restful sleep. Nutriball does all of that, plus growth hormone, a release booster. Go to my store, needtobuildmuscle.com, health and wellness section. And that's all I got, guys. So now, without further ado, right, Steve, my episode, Oral Steroids, episode 381. And what is your episode, Steve?
Yeah, we're going to talk about 316, Aromasin. And the reason we're going to do that, Aromasin is a very important aromatase inhibitor. It's a suicide aromatase inhibitor. And a lot of people don't understand Aromasin because they listen to a lot of the wrong people out there. And you're missing out. A lot of people out there, they're recommending Letro and Arimidex as your AI, and they're just not updating their information. Aromasin is the most modern aromatase inhibitor. It also boosts IGF-1, so it is the most pristine anti-estrogen you could use, the most perfect anti-estrogen you can use, aromatase inhibitor, and it permanently disables that enzyme, that estrogen enzyme, unlike other aromatase inhibitors. So it is the one to use. So if you're going to run, whether you're running oral steroids, injectable steroids, if you're running something that aromatizes, Aromasin is the one. And we're going to educate you on Aromasin, which is episode 316. So let's do it, Rick. Let's hit both episodes, and guys and gals out there, check it out and let us know what you think.
Without further ado, here's the show. Recording to the cloud. 3, 2, 1, hit that.
Evolutionary podcast coming your way. What's up, guys? This is episode 381 Q&A. We answer all the questions you guys send in. Stevesmi here, and the Rickster in the house. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
Good. Not much, bro. All right, guys. So we have a fun podcast coming. We're going to talk about steroids. We're going to talk about TRT. We're going to talk about making a living in bodybuilding. We're going to talk about girls. Rick has another girl problem, so he needs help on that one. So we're going to talk about that one, about a girl who ghosted him. He met a girl, he fell in love with her, and she ghosted his ass. So we're going to talk about that. But the first one, guys, we're going to talk about is best oral only cycle. So Rick's a big fan of oral. He talks about it a lot. So let's talk about oral. So first off, oral cycles. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you can't run an oral-only cycle. You got to always run testosterone with it and stuff. So we talked about it, I believe, in the last Q&A, Rick. That was episode 379. We talked about that. So if you guys want to go back after this podcast is over, check out 379. Rick and I debate running a cycle without testosterone. So we're talking about oral-only cycles. Now, I would say a good solid 30-35% of my clients who come to me, they straight up, they don't want to run injectables, okay? There's a lot of taboo behind injectables. They don't want needles around the house. They got kids, their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, whatever, don't want to see their injectables. They don't want to see needles laying around, so they'll run oral only. It's a big percentage, guys, of guys that are doing this. I've known guys that run oral only cycles for 30 years, and they look pretty damn good. So can you get away with oral only cycles? Of course you can. Is it as effective as injectables? Is it as effective? Over the long term, maybe not so much. It's not as efficient as injectables. What would you rather do? Do you rather inject yourself once or twice a week? Or would you rather have to take a pill twice a day for the next six or 8 weeks? So for me personally, I'd rather just inject myself once or twice a week. That's it. I'm done, good to go. With the orals, I got to remember to take them. I got to remember to have a little meal if I take them in case it gives me a stomach upset. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But at the end of the day, a lot of guys do choose. So one of the best oral only cycles, I'll bring in Rick on this too. You can run any oral by itself. I think the best one, let's say you want explosive results. One of the best ways you can do that is Anadrol. You can run Anadrol only, 50 milligrams a day for 4 weeks or 5 weeks. You'll get tremendous results just on that. You can even run it 25 milligrams a day. You'll get tremendous results. Another one you could do is Dianabol, 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams a day for 4 to 5 weeks. Nothing wrong with that. You may want to have an AI on hand in case you start getting estrogen issues. Another one is T-Bol, one of my favorites. Just a cheap steroid, not as cheap as D-Bol, but pretty damn cheap. You run T-Bol 30, 40 milligrams a day. Same thing with Anavar, 40, 50 milligrams a day, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Nothing wrong with that. You get tremendous results on that. You'll have a boost in strength. You'll get some hardening. You'll get some tightening up of your muscles. Nothing wrong with that. So there's different oral only cycles. You can stack orals together. Like one of the popular oral stacks that I recommend to guys is you can run, say, 20 milligrams of T-Bol along with 10 milligrams of D-Bol. It's a little yin and yang effect. The D-Bol gives a little bit of a androgenic kick. The T-Bol is a nice dry hardening compound. So there's different ways you can kind of play around with these oral only cycles. But really, at the end of the day, any oral, you can just run it by itself and you can get some decent results. It just depends on the oral. But yeah, bring in Rick. What are your thoughts on their best oral only cycles?
Well, oral only cycles are popular. I'm not a big fan of doing oral only cycles. I've done a couple, and I think you need much more consistency, more experience to really get good results out of oral only. Good oral only cycles, Anavar, great oral only cycle. I ran a 4-week Anavar run, made great results on it. If you go to anavarbook.com, you'll be able to see before and after pictures and be able to grab the upcoming book, anavarbook.com. And that's a great oral only cycle. Superdrol. Many a guys did Superdrol only cycles back when Superdrol was legal to purchase over the counter in the last 10 years or so. They're able to run some hot, strong Superdrol only cycles, get some great results. That's a great cycle to run standalone. Anadrol. If you're competing, powerlifting, Anadrol only cycle. Incredible cycle to run for strength. Dianabol only cycle. A lot of people shit on Dianabol only cycles. A lot of the vets like to shit on Dianabol only cycles. It's great for strength, not as good for a powerlifting competition as Anadrol would be, but great for strength. It's good also for gaining muscle mass. You won't look as good aesthetically as you would on an Anavar only cycle. And you do gain quite a bit of water weight, which goes away after the cycle is done. So a lot of people like to shit on Dianabol only cycles. I think they're fine. I think as long as you're working out hard, as long as you're eating lean, as long as your expectations are realistic, where you know you're going to get puffy and lose some of that puffiness once you get off of this stuff, I think you're good to go, man. I think you're quite all right, quite fine to deal with it, to do a good Dianabol only cycle. What are other good mentions for oral only cycle? SARMs are great oral only cycle compounds to be doing. Winstrol, great oral only cycle, especially if you're trying to look a certain way by a certain date. Maybe you got a nice trip you're going to the beach. Maybe you have a photo shoot. Winstrol will help get you there. Good ways of the way. And I think, off the top of my head, those are probably the best oral only cycles. Females should only do oral only cycles. Females, Anavar, Winstrol, oral primobolan. There really aren't too many steroids out there women should be injecting, especially steroids that have ester chains are injected. If the female starts to see some side effects from accumulation of that ester after second, third, fourth shot, even if she discontinues it, she's still in for a ride. There's still more side effects coming for the next few days, maybe weeks if she's on it. So oral only cycles are really good for females. That's it, man. That's my whole spiel on oral only cycles. Steve, did I miss anything?
I think you covered it. I mean, you guys can go on any source's website and look up what kind of orals they sell. I mean, you can kind of go from there. You can come on the forum, look at the articles on how to run those orals, and that will
Turinabol is also a great oral only cycle.
Yeah, I mentioned T-ball already.
Yeah.
So, and then Halo as well. It's very, very potent. If you're a powerlifter, you run Halo for like 3 or 4 weeks. You'll have tremendous results. Very, very toxic though. So on these orals, one of the things you have to do, whether you're running injectables or orals, you either run cycle support. So Intugard is what I recommend. It's got 44 ingredients, including 6 or 7 for the liver. So that's very important to run if you're running an oral, because they are liver toxic. Most of them are liver toxic. And then, the only one I wouldn't run by itself, I think is useless, is Proviron. Because Proviron by itself, you really won't get much of anything with it. I think the only thing you'll get is something sexual. You'll get some sexual aid with it. So it's not really something that's going to give you any type of performance benefits by itself. All right, so the next one, Rick, I'm going to bring you in on this one, and this is the one that was sent to you. How to find a steroid source?
That's a good question that a lot of people have. I get asked that a lot. Don't ask me. Start over with. I don't give my sources away to just anybody. Got some good private sources and like to keep them good and keep them out of jail. But the gym dealer is back. The gym dealer is back. You used to only be able to get steroids from the gym, or if you were risky enough to, or if you wanted to take the risk, you see the back of the magazines and send some money, cash in the mail, money orders checks to one of those little ads in the back of the magazines. This is 70s, 80s, 90s, around the late 90s to the 2000s. It was just a golden era of mail order steroids, and you could get steroids in the mail, no problem. Local, overseas, just order them online. You were also getting them in the mail when you use the guys on the back of the magazines in the 80s and 70s and 90s. You still, but it was different because if the guy scammed you or sent you fake shit or just took your money, you couldn't do anything. But once the forums came around, you can go online and talk about the fucking guy that took your money and tarnish his reputation now. Something you couldn't do with the guys in magazines. That's why it really became the golden era. And then the gym dealer came back strong over the last 10 years. Guys, since there's so many underground labs now accountability is important. So if you don't know who your dealer is, if the guy doesn't know who you are and you can't really tarnish his reputation if he gives you fake shit, a lot of companies, a lot of underground labs out there are sending people bunk stuff, underdosed, changing one compound for the other. So, but when you have a gym guy, if your stuff's not up to par, if you test it and it doesn't come back well, you go talk to your fucking guy right on the spot. So the gym dealer is back. So if you hit the gym often, if you look like a big dude, just be friendly enough to guys, someone will offer you some sauce. You're gonna be able to find a gym dealer pretty quickly. You might not want to go to one of these really mainstream kind of gyms where you're not even allowed to drop the weights here and there or grunt a little bit. I've seen some stuff about it on social where some gyms you're not allowed to even let out a huff or a puff on your last 2 reps. Maybe not those, but if you go to one of the few hardcore gyms still left, one of the few gyms where there are professionals there, you'll be able to find a dealer pretty early on. Wear a Need to Build Muscle t-shirt. And as soon as your dealer sees that you're a Need to Build Muscle buyer, he's like, oh, this guy's buying post-psychotherapy stuff, buying liver support from Need to Build Muscle. Oh, he's taking steroids. Let me go offer him some fucking steroids. That would be a good way to stand out and for guys to know you're on the sauce is to Need to Build Muscle t-shirt. Just wear it to the gym. They'll know right away. And that's a good way to the gym. Also, obviously, the forums. Go to evolutionary.org, elitefitness.com, anabolex with an X at the end.com, and just ask around and see who's good, see who's not. What's really important about utilizing the forums is that you're able to find out if the guys are legit or not, if they're full of shit or not. And most of these forum administrators at these websites, as soon as a guy goes bad, they remove him. They care about the membership enough to not have a guy around that's ran their course and that is creating problems and that is scamming people. Also, when people receive the stuff they receive from them, they actually will come in and test it and post pictures of the tests. And it's like a circle of communication, nice powwow about sources. And you can get your stuff in the mail. Some guys are going to ship domestic, some guys international. So you have to kind of play it by ear. But those are probably, and then obviously the third part is just go to a TRT clinic, testosterone replacement therapy clinic. They'll be able to hook you up. For the most part, as long as you exhibit some of the symptoms, they'll prescribe you. You don't even have to be low in testosterone to get a script for testosterone. You can go and take a test. The testosterone be sky high because you're using your own synthetic black market testosterone, and just tell your doctor, tell the clinic, like, listen, I'm already using steroids. I'm going to stop using these black market steroids. I want testosterone prescription to bring me up to the higher range of normal. And they'll make sure that your testosterone levels stay at the higher range of normal through prescribing you testosterone. And you never have to provide a test of low testosterone to begin with. Or your testosterone production can be normal, but you have muscle weakness. You have pain in the bones. Maybe you got road rash from a motorcycle accident, burnt. You get Anadrol for any of those from a good testosterone replacement therapy clinic, even if your levels of testosterone are normal. You could have a elbow injury, knee injury, joint, any injury you've ever had, even if you had a car crash years ago and you're still suffering from some joint pains from your car crash. You get Anadrol for something like that, even if your test levels are never low. And that stuff is good, bona fide, American-made, American pharmacy compounded steroids that are going to work the way they should. No contaminants. I mean, you get the real deal at that point. So, yeah, man, look, any way you go about it, man, jump on the forums, evolutionary.org, elitefitness.com, anabolics.com. Those are 3 really good forums. Steve and I post there quite a bit. Make sure to come by and see who's good, see who's not. Your gym, wear your Need to Build Muscle t-shirts to the gym, stand out. You know, I might make t-shirts for all of those 3 forums and just throw them on my site. Hopefully admins won't mind. And you could just wear your evolutionary monkey t-shirt to the gym. Guys will know right away what's up. You'll get asked. Say, hey, dude, you're an evolutionary too? Yeah, man, I got that for you. So gym deal is always good. Forums are always good. And if you got the cash and you want to go through the process and get really good, legitimate, clean steroids, no heavy metal contamination, just really good, clean steroids, TRT clinic. As long as you got the symptoms, you'll get prescribed. You never have to provide a test where your testosterone levels are low. You just have to have the symptoms, and they'll prescribe you around your symptoms. Fuck the blood test. A lot of guys think, oh, if I'm going to go to TRT clinic, my testosterone levels have to be low or I won't get prescribed. No, you'll get prescribed. Even if your testosterone levels are above normal, you just be honest and say, look, I was injecting black market testosterone. Now my levels are going to drop. I'm going to get depressed. I'm going to feel shitty. I'm going to get suicidal. So I need you to prescribe me legitimate testosterone that'll just let me land at the higher range of normal. And a good TRT clinic, good testosterone replacement therapy doctor will do that for you. So those are the best ways, man. Did I miss anything, Steve?
No, you summed it up, guys. And at the end of the day, you can always just hit me up on the forum, Stevesmi, and I'll lead you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So we're here to help, guys. I don't like when people come on the forum like, oh, you need to put in the work. We're not going to give you a source. You need to put in the work first. I'm like, oh. I'm like, dude, why? So they can get ripped off? I mean, with the Bitcoins and stuff, you send someone Bitcoin now, that's like cash. They could take your money and run. So you just come hit me up. I'll make sure, you guys get sent in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that leads us into the next topic, Rick, a TRT. So we've talked about this on prior episodes, but I don't think we really zeroed in on this. But how old are guys starting TRT? So I could say for me, I don't plan on doing TRT ever. So the way I look at it is your body produces hormones on its own for free of charge. Why would you give up on it? So with that in mind, what is TRT? For those of you who don't understand TRT, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy or hormone replacement therapy. But in the United States, when they give you a HRT, it's 99% of the time it's going to be testosterone, long estered testosterone, either testosterone enanthate or testosterone cypionate. 10 or 15 years ago, it was very, very hard to go get prescribed TRT. Now it's too easy to get prescribed TRT. And a lot of that has to do with, a bunch of factors, economic factors. It has to do with, for-profit healthcare system. It has to do with all these anti-aging clinics. It has to do with doctors really educating themselves on TRT and wanting to make their patients happy and wanting to build a client base. What a great opportunity to build a client base and having someone come to your clinic every 3 to 6 months, pay money for blood work, pay money for a prescription, pay money for visits, and then it's like a revolving door in and out. So, and then have them refer more people to your clinic. It's a business. It's a business. When something is a business, they want you to keep coming back. So what an opportunity for them. What an opportunity for these anti-aging clinics. So we're seeing too many people now getting a TRT. And it says, the question is, how old are guys starting TRT? Goodness gracious. My old podcast host, Trevor, he got TRT in his early 20s. Prescribed to him in his early 20s. The only thing the doctor made him do was freeze his sperm. That's the only thing the doctor required. And that's because he used steroids at a young age. He completely fucked his HPTA up. So he went on TRT. He's got to take TRT for the rest of his life. And there's a lot of others out there who are 20s, 30s, 40s going on TRT. And many of them don't need it. And many of them can fix the problem without needing it. So in my view, it's way out of hand now. It's getting way out of hand. Everybody is going on TRT. A lot of these issues that guys are dealing with, either sexual dysfunctions, depression, mood issues, stresses, all this stuff, is not solved just by taking testosterone. In 98% of situations, it's not solved by taking testosterone in the first place. You still have the same problems that you had before. So we have a very dysfunctional society where we do a drug for every ill. And I don't take any drugs, guys. I take nothing. I function completely normally. I don't take anything. I don't need anything. You know, humans have been around 2 million, 5 million years, whatever it is. In all those millions of years, did they ever need a drug to survive? Did they? They didn't have drugs, and they still managed to survive and grow in population. Every animal on Earth in the wild, do they take drugs to survive? No, they managed to survive without drugs. Animals in captivity, our pets, ourselves, we're on tons of drugs. We're on tons of drugs. So it's a damn good scam that we got going in society. When you take your pet to the vet, it's like taking your car to an auto mechanic. And the vet tells you, oh, you got all these things wrong with your dog, all these things wrong with your cat. I'm going to write you these prescriptions. It's a nice, good scam they have. They do the same thing with us, guys. So my lesson in this, Rick may have a completely different perspective. I have no idea. He's going to get his take. But my take is on it, before you decide to go on TRT, fix your root problems first. And then there's a possibility you may never even need a TRT to begin with. Low testosterone levels can be fixed. They can be fixed. And a big problem with low testosterone levels is a lack of minerals in your body. Because if you have low amounts of minerals, you're not going to be able to produce testosterone. Why do we have a low amount of minerals? Gut problems, diet deficiencies. These are reasons for low minerals and low testosterone levels. And a lot of these problems are not your fault. I can't stress this enough. It is not your fault that your parents fed you crap your entire life. It is not your fault that you grew up next to a fucking coal factory. It is not your fault that your parents were buying crappy water your whole life and you're drinking crappy water and drinking soda and eating cereal and all this crap and milk and all this other stuff that destroys the minerals in your body, because they do destroy minerals in your body. Water, poor quality water, milk, soda, these are acids. They go in your body. They leach your body of minerals. When you leach your body of minerals, your testosterone levels drop. So as an adult, once you hit 30, 35 years old, you're like, shit, I got low testosterone levels. What the hell do I do? Yeah, and then you go on TRT for the rest of my life. So that's my rant on it, but it's out of hand right now. TRT, everybody's going on TRT. It is out of hand. So before you do it, you know, just give it a shot, guys. Give it a shot at fixing your root issues. I'll let Rick give his 2 cents.
Yeah, so TRT, guys are getting on TRT almost at any age that you feel like it. Yeah, we're talking about doctor prescribed TRT, right? Yeah, but you could be in your mid-20s, go to a TRT clinic, your testosterone levels be twice the higher the normal range, and just tell the doctor, hey man, I've been injecting testosterone on my own. I want to stop injecting black market testosterone. I'm afraid it has heavy metals, contaminants, pesticides in there. And I'd like you to prescribe me enough testosterone so that I can stay at the higher range of normal and not crash and not get depressed and not have libido problems and all the problems that are going to come with me dropping the testosterone fully. Can we do that? And chances are the doctor, good TRT clinic, he's going to say, yeah, I'm going to prescribe you 100 mg a week, something along those lines. And you come in for testing in about a month or two, and your testosterone levels need to be at the higher range of normal. If they're above normal, I'm going to pull your script because you can't be taking other stuff along with this script. If they're at the higher range of normal, which is where I want to put you at, then I'll continue to give you that same script for testosterone. Talk about TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, because hormone replacement therapy really, it's a broader term for everything from growth hormone, peptides, you're adding other hormones, not just testosterone. But for testosterone, for TRT, for testosterone replacement therapy, the only thing you'll ever be prescribed is testosterone. Anavar, Anadrol, which a doctor can prescribe to you, are there for other ailments. Even if your testosterone levels are normal, you can get a script for Anavar, for Oxandrolone, if you have other medical issues going along with it. I just mentioned that on the last subject we just discussed. So it's really important for you to understand and know what your testosterone situation is. So TRT nowadays, any age, pretty much any age, you can go get TRT. And it sucks the way I'm going to describe this, but it is. If you're 25, you go to the doctor, your testosterone levels are normal, chances are you're not going to get testosterone replacement therapy because your levels are normal. But that same 25-year-old goes to the doctor with higher than normal testosterone levels, higher than normal. Says, I've been using steroids. I want to get off of testosterone. I want you to put me on testosterone to have high range of normal levels. Then you might get a script. Then you're actually in the ballpark to getting a script. A good hormone replacement therapy a good doctor that specializes in hormone replacement therapy should not or would not ask you to let your testosterone levels crash and to provide a lower than normal testosterone level test crashed from your cycle in order for him to prescribe. He would help give you a soft landing and put you on a TRT dose as long as you promise to stop injecting testosterone, so that in a month or two you can provide a blood test that'll show that you're in the high range of normal. So pretty much at any age, naturally and hopefully, what age would you want to put yourself on TRT? You wouldn't. You don't want to put yourself in TRT at any age. Hopefully, if your testosterone, if your testes aren't making some, make sure you get on the herbals first. Change your lifestyle, sleep more, eat better. Stop eating processed foods. Go organic. Stay away from any kind of chemicals and pesticides. It's a lot easier than you think to stay away from it. Look, a lot of guys like to play golf. Golf courses are full of pesticides. Okay? A lot of, there's just there are different things you can do to make sure that your body makes higher than normal testosterone levels. If you want to dabble in a little bit of steroids and then get off the steroids and not take anything for a while, then do the steroids and then do herbals, steroids, herbals. It's kind of what I do. I take herbals pretty much, I'd say 6 to 8 months out of the year, maybe more. And I'm on steroids probably nowadays about 3, maybe 4 months out of the year. Usually about three months out of the year. I run maybe 1 or 2 short cycles every year, just to get me just to keep me where I need to be. And then the rest of the time I'm on herbals. It's what I'm doing at 40. I might be on herbals 8 months out of the year, 9 months out of the year, steroids 4 to 3 months out of the year, and then peptides 9 months out of the year. sometimes peptides with steroids, sometimes peptides with herbals, but I'm going to start messing with peptides now going into 40 because it's about that time. So I guess I gave a broad answer here, Steve, to take it back to the beginning. What age are guys getting prescribed testosterone replacement therapy? Pretty much any age you kind of want. What age should guys get testosterone replacement therapy? You shouldn't. You should not ever get into a situation where you need to take a shot in order to just be normal. You'd want to really address the lifestyle issues, the environmental issues, health issues, address them in any way you can before you just get on the pipe, man. Get on the testosterone shots every week, every other week. And as far as what Steve said, I just wanted to comment on what you said about all of our pets being on medications, everybody being on medication. Look, you got a couple of things going on. One, you have a lot of environmental issues. And second, we've basically removed natural selection from the equation. So once you remove natural selection from the equation through chemistry, through medicine, through just lifestyle changes, now you have a lot of people and a lot of pets, animals walking around that maybe wouldn't have survived if they didn't get huge shots of antibiotics and medications early on in their life. You got a lot of people and a lot of animals, organisms living to old age and reproducing to old age, passing down faulty genes, genes that wouldn't have survived certain diseases, certain changes in weather, wouldn't have made it because natural selection would have picked us out a long time ago. Look, I'm one of them. I've had a lot of issues with my lungs, infections in my lungs as a child, ear, nose, and throat infections very early on in my life. And the only thing that kept me alive, kept me from fucking dying, is just copious amounts of antibiotics that I received at that age. Had antibiotics not been available then and technology not been where it was at when I was a young man, I would have died off and I wouldn't have had 3 kids, all 3 of which have also had lung issues and ear, nose, and throat infections very early in their lives. It's just the way it is. So it's one of the reasons why we get a lot of people on medication. And also, look, once you've made it to a certain age, you really ought to manipulate your health naturally through good foods, good lifestyle, good mental state, as well as what you put in your body. You really want to be that guy. You really want to make sure to heal your body naturally through the foods that you eat, through your lifestyle, and through your thoughts, to just your thought pattern, your mood, your attitude towards life, because we're already at a loss. Natural selection has been out the window for humans for a couple thousand years already, few thousand years. Humans have had no natural selection really affecting them to a great degree. And then we developed antibiotics in between the 2 world wars. Antibiotics were just, around World War time, antibiotics came on the scene. And then you really had a bunch of people surviving diseases that would have wiped them out otherwise. So that's just my little spiel on response to what you said, Steve, about factors making us weak and our pets being on medication. It's what you get, I guess.
So we are getting weaker as a species. Then we are. It's just like our pets. When a cat gets old and it starts slowing down and stuff, and it's sick, it's going to get eaten by or killed by another cat that wants its territory. But our house cat doesn't have that, so it would just keep living. And we would basically take care of it and give it all the drugs it needs to prolong its life. And, that's an excellent point for sure. So
we're going to start swinging into depopulation now, because what ends up happening is when countries and people become more affluent, we have more money, more knowledge, then you want to have less kids. It's really only humans with way lower levels of education, opportunities, and wealth that are having a lot of kids. Most people that are educated, affluent, get to the higher echelons of society in any degree, are the people that are deciding.
So what are you saying, that you're
kids?
So what are you saying, that you're not uneducated?
Well, I have 3 children, and there's three of us. So it's 2 women, myself, and 3 kids, 3 children. So when you look at it that way, we're only having 1 child per person, and that's that's along the lines of neutral to depopulation. Now you have sometimes couples that'll only have 1 child, or couples that have no children. That's kind of along the lines of what you get. Look, if you only have 1 child per person, if each couple only has 2 kids, we're still depopulating, because there are people that are going to die without having enough children. So, we really are on that depopulation.
I'm surprised you said that you're going to go in the other direction, because our fertility rates are dropping substantially. In the United States, there's actually a sperm shortage. So, and one of the reasons of that is all the things we've discussed. All the things we've discussed have led to a sperm shortage. So what's going to happen over time, if this continues, is nature will basically punish us, and we won't be able to reproduce anymore. I actually made a movie about this.
People that want to get pregnant and get and create new children because they can't physically, science will give them away too. Science will give, even if you don't have to have a lot of money, even a lot of procedures, a lot of medications like Clomid are very, very inexpensive for people to have when they want to have children. So even there aren't, you're not going to find a huge number of couples out there that want to conceive and can't. There are also, embryo. I mean, there's just so many things science and can provide to give people a chance to create new lives. And for the purpose of the conversation now, we're talking about population, right? Adopting is probably doesn't come into the picture. We're talking about creating new lives. So yeah, I mean, if you have the education levels and a little bit of the money, don't need a ton, you can create new life, even if there's a problem with sperm count and all that. But no, apparently, from everything I've been seeing, it's only people that have less access to education, less access to the internet, less access to healthcare that are actually having more children. People that have the opportunities to go to college, that have the opportunities to further their education, access to the internet, access to medical care. Those people are having less children, are either having no children, or 1 child per couple, or 2 children per couple, which still puts us in a realm of depopulation if a couple only has 2 children, 2 offspring.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. We'll have to talk about that on the next one. So next one, I want to bring you in early on this one. Next one I'm talking about is, can you make a living in bodybuilding? So Rick, I believe that you are making a living in bodybuilding. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think you were a Bitcoin investor. We were talking about a couple weeks ago. But like, are you make a living in bodybuilding, right? Am I wrong?
No, you could definitely I would call it just fitness, general fitness. Can you make a living in fitness? Fuck yeah. Look, you can make a living doing anything you want. Any hobby that you have that's a hobby, you're most likely spending money to exercise that hobby. Somebody is making money from that money you're spending on your hobby, whatever it is. Like, you like to take your cat out for a walk on a leash. I'm sure that guy who made the leash that you purchased to take your cat out on walks, because you like to put a leash on your cat, I'm sure he made some money there. Right? Because you like to put your cat on a leash and have him climb a tree, right? So look, even making leashes for cats is something you make money at. So if fitness is something you are interested in, bodybuilding, can you make a living as a bodybuilder? Fuck yeah, you can make a living as a bodybuilder. If you're a good top level guy and you can win some shows, look, now you got social, so you can get endorsement deals. Look, there's a huge SARMs manufacturer, supplement guy, Enhanced Athlete. They're now sponsoring the Mr. Olympia. Big Ramy is being sponsored by them, and I'm sure he's getting a good bit of money for it. Big Ramy also spends a good bit of money on his cycles, I'm sure, before he steps on stage. But that money that he spent on his cycles to get that big to go on stage, he now gets to make back, not in prize money because shows don't pay that much, but he gets to make it back now in endorsement deals, endorsing supplement companies. If you're not that high level where you're winning shows and getting a bunch of money to represent the supplement company, you can have people that you train. You can have people that you consult. You can have smaller brands and smaller companies that you help push through your social, through whatever you do. I mean, look, even if you never competed in your fucking life, but you're good at taking pictures, at promoting stuff like this girl, I can't remember where she's from, Batkanieva, that girl with the long tongue and the black eyes. I don't think she's ever competed, but she looks fucking incredible, and she gets paid a good bit of money to be featured on her stuff. Even at a lower level, you have guys and girls that never competed, don't have a shit ton of followers, but are willing to put in the work, to get educated, and to come in and help people with their training, with their diet, and help them come along, help them bring themselves along. Those guys are also making a living in fitness, bodybuilding, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, there's so many ways to make a living bodybuilding, fitness, helping people get somewhere, that it's you just got to put your mind into it. And the way it works, guys, is the way everything works. You have a regular job. Most people will have a regular job that we make money in. Then we're going to spend that money on things that we like. Obviously, things we need, but things that we like. So there are going to be people going to the regular day-to-day jobs. They work some company, construction, finance, insurance, whatever. And then when they're off from work, they're going to come and see you. They're going to come and see you for if you look good and you're a big bodybuilder, for entertainment. If you're a trainer, for help with training. If you're a supplement guy, for help with their nutrition. If you're a nutritionist, diet programs. They're going to take some of the money that they make in their day-to-day grind and spend it on something they like, which is making themselves as fit and as healthy and look good as they possibly can. So you just got to find the angle. There's really, today, it's easier than it's ever been to make money in fitness. It's absolutely just, it doesn't matter which way you slice it, whether you're trying to compete. It's more competitions now and leagues, big leagues now than ever. Whether you're trying to gain a following because you have a great body, look, social, just go do that now. Your cell phone, you can buy a cell phone that you can carry in your pocket with you that'll take pictures just as good as a professional photographer could. If you got decent enough lighting and a good cell phone, you got your own walking around studio. Just go get out to the masses. You can now become a personal trainer online. You can become a nutritionist, get all your certificates, all your stuff online. You can have a podcast about fitness the way Steve and I do, and have a big sponsor like Need to Build Muscle. NeedToBuildMuscle.com sponsors the podcast. We sell supplements for all you guys that are out there taking steroids. That's my niche, my company, Need to Build Muscle. And I help guys that are taking steroids, make sure to create this content for them, make sure to help them out when you guys reach out to me and you have questions about your cycle, about your orders. I always help everybody out. There's just a lot of ways now to do this. And to really, we're getting to that point now in human evolution, social evolution, the evolution of finances, the democratization of finances, of the economy, basically, that there shouldn't be anybody out there doing a job they hate. Everyone should be able to do something they love to make a damn good living doing it, because the barriers to entry are pretty much all gone for the most part everywhere. You just have to be good at it. Look, there was a time where you had to have a studio rep in the music industry believe in you and invest money in you to put you out there. It was impossible to get yourself out there, or very hard to get yourself out there. Now, after SoundCloud, anybody can get out there without waiting for a studio to do it for them. And look, and even SoundCloud has come forward with some of their numbers, and there's still only about 5-10% of the people that are posting content on SoundCloud getting 90% of the plays. And the other 90% of the people are getting 10% of the plays, because you still got to be good. Even though the barriers to entry are gone, you still got to be good. So something like SoundCloud, where you could just publish your music however you want, and millions of people across the world have access to it, your music still has to be good, or you're not going to get any place. You're not going to fucking go anywhere. So all you have to do now is, there are no barriers to entries, and there's nobody you have to ask for permission to do anything you want nowadays. You just go and do it. all of the information on how to do what you want to do, most of all of it's going to be free. And once you're doing whatever it is you want to do, being able to get out to more people that are interested in what you're doing is also going to be pretty much free. You just have to be good. You have to be good and be able to put in the work, but you have to be competent and you have to be resilient and put in the hard work. And you can pretty much make a living doing anything you really feel like it, including bodybuilding. And this is, this goes for almost everybody. I would say you have to be really careful. If you're an older guy, 30s, 40s, 50s, I'd be real careful trying to switch lanes. You've been an accountant your whole life, and now you want to become a fitness coach or a fitness guy, and you're 40 something. It's not impossible, but you better be damn good, because you're going to be in competition with guys like me and Steve that have been lifting weights and reading muscle media and reading Dan Duchesne since we were 13. So you want to really love what you're going to do, and you want to be really good at it. You want to be good at it, because you're competing against people now that love what they're doing, that do this on a daily. Like me and Steve, we're reading books about steroids. I was reading Arthur Rea, Building the Perfect Beast, Chemical Muscle Enhancement. Steve is a big Nelson Montana fan. He was reading Bottom Line Bodybuilding from Nelson Montana. We were on Elite Fitness, posting and learning and sharing conversations about steroids before we ever made a dime at it. Before Steve and I ever made a fucking penny with anything to do in the fitness industry, we were out there talking to people, sharing information, arguing with people about what we thought the real chemistry or the real training or real diet was, where there was no money on the table for it. So this is why we get to now step up to the plate and do it and actually make a little bit of scratch doing it, because we were just willing to do it and we love it. And we were willing to get out there and do it before there was any incentive behind it. Like when Steve first bought Nelson Montana's Bottom Line Bodybuilding book, he wasn't reading it for a class or because he was going to take a test. He was reading it because he wanted to get educated. He wanted to learn from one of the pioneers, one of the best. So, same thing with me. I read Nelson's books, Arthur Rea, God rest his soul, Chemical Muscle Enhancement, read that book front to back, probably 4 times. Building the Perfect Beast, went through that one too. Bill Llewellyn and stuff. We're reading these books before we ever knew there was ever going to be, before we ever knew somebody would want to pay us money to understand these things. And that's who you're going to be competing against in the world. So make sure you're going to be good if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I just want to echo Rick hit on a lot of good points. If you're waking up every morning hating your life, that's not a life to live. So, sometimes though people make mistakes in life and it heads them in the wrong direction, and it takes one mistake to really screw yourself. So you young guys listening to this, just, you gotta think things through and be smart and just set goals. And, whatever you want to do, whatever your niche is, if your niche happens to be bodybuilding, then you need to find a job in it. What you can do, Rick touched on this, is you can have a regular job. I used to date a girl who was an artist. She was a great artist. But being an artist is very hard to make a living in art. It's not something that you can really monetize too well at first, especially. So, I told her this advice. I said, you got to have a job, a normal job that pays the bills, and then you can do the art on the side. There's nothing preventing you from still doing something you love, even if you can't monetize it. And it's not all about money either. A teacher, elementary school teacher, they don't make shit, but they do it because they love the kids. They love their kids. They're doing something to educate these kids, right? They get a self-satisfaction from it, but they don't get paid shit. And that's a fuck up of our society, that teachers don't make anything, but a hedge fund manager makes millions. That's a fuck up of our society. But at the end of the day, teachers still, they wake up early every morning. They go to school. They come home late. They grade papers all weekend. I know I dated an elementary school teacher. Fucking ridiculous. But at the end of the day, they love doing it. And if they love doing it, then that's going to motivate them. But if you're doing something you wake up every morning you hate doing, you hate your life, you hate, where you live, you hate your wife, you hate your girlfriend, you hate your boyfriend, whatever, and you're sleeping next to someone you can't stand anymore, that's a miserable life. It's the same thing with a job. If you wake up every morning and you don't want to get up out of bed because you hate your fucking job, God, that's fucking miserable. At the end of the day, yeah, okay, if it's paying your bills, put up with it, but you need to do something else. Get something else fired up that you can go. Eric brings up a good point with the internet now and Zoom and all this technology we have. I mean, we got electric car industry booming. There's guys working for Tesla as auto mechanics for Tesla. They're making some good cash working for Tesla versus working at some other auto mechanic company. So, I mean, look into that. Look into upgrading who you're working for. Your boss has to be someone who values your work. If they don't value your work and they pay you shit, then you're not going to be motivated to go to work, are you? So, like, I went to Home Depot the other day, and I was going to buy some patio furniture, and the people working there, they couldn't get off their fat ass to help me get the fucking thing off the fucking top of the thing. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're not motivated because they don't get paid shit. Why should they be motivated? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about me buying that product. They don't make a commission off of that. So why would they care? So that's another thing. Do a job that's not a dead end job like that. Do a job that you're going to work hard at it. You're going to excel at it, and you're going to advance at it. There's a future in it. Not a job like that where you're just getting paid every,